Okay. Just gonna let the chat fill up here for a bit. Howdy, folks. So this is the post-premiere Q&A where I do this instead of doing a director's commentary because there's so much shit to unpack that I simply couldn't do it within the span of 37 minutes. Okay. And the chat's already blown up. Why the fuck did it end like that? Because it's not supposed to feel like narratively satisfying. It's supposed to just end because it's meant to feel like it wasn't made for your entertainment. Yeah, if I wasn't so fucking stressed when I was making it, I probably could have let that third act go on a lot longer than it did. But given the nature of this production, I kind of wanted it to just fucking end. Bit with Cunin, the other dimension could have been a bit better. Yeah, here's the thing, dude. I'm working in with like a lot of constraints. That was like the most shit I could come up with for that. Like that I could actually work with within the confines of the engine. So I think given that, and given that it's not like I don't have assets for this kind of thing, I think I did the best that I could. How long is the live stream gonna be? I don't know, maybe like a couple hours, dude. How do you do those outfits? Just look up like GTA 5 military outfits. They're pretty simple. Some of them you might have to glitch though. Are you guys ever going to do an SCP with an already done SCP? Not if I can prevent it. Like if I'd rather try to keep making original SCPs so that people go into my videos never knowing what to expect. If I use pre-existing SCPs, as I've said in other instances online, people are going to know what to expect and it's not going to be scary. The only time I'll ever use a pre-existing SCP is if I have an interesting take on it and I can sort of fundamentally change it to be interesting, and it would have to be an SCP that I didn't like. To what extent was the manner of narrative told mainly in retrospective journal and voice recording influenced by the works of H.P. Lovecraft? Not really. It's mostly just the fact that it's like the found footage was just meant to be immersive. You could arguably say it does tie to Lovecraft because I was doing a lot of research on Lovecraft at the time, but now it's just meant to make it immersive and sort of to fit the tone. How long does it take to film something like this? Okay, if you're strictly asking about the filming process, I started that before any of the voice acting was in, simply because I wanted to make sure that the script could, like, I could edit parts of the script if I say wasn't able to film something or found a better way to film something. So I started that probably about a month or 2 months after first contact. So that would have been in like December-ish to January, and it probably only took me a couple weeks to film all of it, with the exception of like a couple things that I filmed very last minute before wrapping it up. Yeah. I got to go over a couple things before I answer questions. A couple things that kind of need talking about. So I'm going to cover some things that went horribly wrong. And I actually think that, like, this isn't all of them. I bet that I missed a ton of shit. So when we were initially writing it, I wanted to set it in South, like, America or something, and have it be like in the jungle and shit. And as I was writing it, like, I got up like maybe 2/3 of the way through it and was like, this isn't fucking scary. And then I switched it to Russia, or not Russia, like an unnamed place in like Eastern Europe. I wanted to kind of leave it unspecified. And the other thing was that the Black Horizon project was initially like this really fucking convoluted, it's already convoluted, but it was an even more convoluted like cult compound where they'd like been worshiping this gateway that goes to an alternate dimension. And me and my co-writer Alyssa like went through and came up with all this shit, and then I was just like, this is too much, because like there's too many fucking things to unpack here. It's too much exposition. Because it was like we needed to explain even more with regards to like, oh, the cult has like a deal with the military government and shit, where they're like living off the land tax free if the fucking like, and then the government has like a deal with the GOC, and it was too much bullshit. So I just fucking I had to simplify it. And there's another idea I had for a cult that I'll use later down the line. I've actually got a bunch. Isaiah sends $10 saying, "Thanks for making the awesome videos, man." Well, thanks for $10, man. I appreciate that. This is actually, today's the first time I've ever gotten like super chats and donations and stuff. It's creepy. I appreciate it, guys. It means a lot. Because this video nearly broke me. It genuinely was just an awful experience to make this video. I did not enjoy it at all. So moving on. Oh yeah, fuck! I forgot about this. So that initial scene where Korolenko gets shot in the head used to be a scene in like the street where they ambush a convoy and shoot it up and stuff. And then Alyssa watched it and was like, "This looks like very obviously GTA 5 is going to take people out," and because it was like broad daylight and shit like that. And I went to attempt to reshoot it, and then just thought, "Fuck it, I'm just going to do a different scene that's much quicker and more sudden." So like there's an unlisted video that I might link later, or link somewhere, that I'd shown to patrons at the time. That's just like the opening scene, kind of unfinished, and what it was, and it's up there, but I got rid of it. I guess after that, yeah, there was graphics mods. Fuck, I forgot about that too. So I initially had, I think, GTA 5 Redux, but GTA 5 Redux is horrible for this for a lot of reasons. The sounds were good, but the color was literally like, I don't know what it is with graphics mods where people just think if you increase the contrast, that's better looking. You increase the contrast, it looks more real. It doesn't. It looks like shit. Okay, and the voice acting was the biggest fucking hurdle by far. I'm sure there were more, but I've forgotten them. But the voice acting, I haven't forgotten. You guys better strap the fuck in, because this is an adventure. How's my audio, by the way, guys? I sound good? Everybody's asking me about the screaming creatures. Guys, you're not supposed to know. Stop asking. The whole point of Kuhn's adventure in like that alternate reality was, or whatever, was that he wouldn't know. Like, he would never there's no way he would know. So you, the viewer, also don't get to know. Okay. So the first hurdle was all the recasts for all the voice actors. I had to recast Laughlin, I had to recast Gareth, I had to recast Pierce, I had to recast Bishop, and I had to recast Shinobi the most. So I went through 3 voice actors for Shinobi. One who was asking way too much money to do the role, to the point that I knew that I was just wasting her time. And then another who simply just wasn't fit for it. And that's that. Most everyone was casted in around 2 weeks for all the roles. I'd sent out the lines, and then just 2 weeks of nothing. Just 2 weeks of nothing. Like, legit, just nothing that I could use. And I ended up recasting Pierce, as I said previously, and his replacement sent me in lines, and which after a long wait. However, all the lines were broken up into individual files, all of which were one take, and yeah, none of them were good enough. Okay, so whatever. I've gotten some fucked takes from people before, and then what I usually do in response is I set up a live directing session where I sit in a Discord call and I direct the voice actor do their lines for however long it takes to do them. Well, we sat in a call for about 40 minutes, and we were making pretty good progress. And then about 40 minutes into it, he goes, "So do you want me to record any of this?" At that point, I legit left the call, went into my private Discord and screamed at my friends, went back into that call and went and had to restart and do all the lines again from the beginning. The fun doesn't end there. So we went in and redid all the takes. And when I got all the takes, like maybe 50 to 60% of the lines just had fucking just clicking. Just clicking right in between the talking. That's what you want to hear, right? So like all the takes that were good, like tons of them were just trash. Cause like he would click when he was doing the lines, whatever. And so I had to like, dude, there were lines that I straight up deleted just because I was not in the mood to go get redos. Fairfield Fencer is a man that I've worked with for a long, long time, and I'm not bad mouthing him, as I'm sure shit happened, but I'm still going to touch on this. And I'm also not bad mouthing these actors. That I'm not. They did things that frustrated me, but I'm not talking shit. I'm not trying to go after them or anything. The voice actor for Fox took about 2 weeks. Then after we ended up doing a live direction session together, he went to edit the lines. For me, I'm normally not that picky about this, simply because I can edit my own lines really fast. But I'm happy to accept the voice actors doing this if it takes a day or two. So, yeah, like, also, before I go any further, Laboon Chick gives me $50 fucking dollars. Holy smokes, dude. Bro, honestly, I love the intensity of when the guy was in the hotel. I still want to know what was the radio supposed to be in SCP when he was looping there. Yeah, the idea I had for that was like, it's something that is unknowable that trapped people in something that allowed them only and exclusively to see and speak through the radios. And so that was supposed to like ramp up the tension. Jesus Christ, dude. Fuck, man. Thank you for your donation. That's really generous of you. So as I was saying, where the fuck was I? Okay. So typically I'll have voice actors that sometimes they'll like maybe a day or two after they'll cut out like the bad takes and like the noise and the gaps between the lines and just give me one file that's just straight all the good takes. I can do that myself most of the time, but if they're willing to do it, I'm cool with it. Fair took like 2 weeks, like basically half a month to do them. So it got to the point, like after the 3-day mark, I was just like, okay, I'll take them. Just give me the files. I don't care if they're fucked up. I can edit them myself. And I had to beg him like for the lines every day. Once again, I'm not hollering at Fair because apparently he was going through some shit, but still, it's a hurdle. And then we get to Bishop's voice actor. So Bishop's voice actress, and also Red Dragon asks, are traps gay? The answer is absolutely not. Bishop's voice actress did her lines in about a week or two, but they weren't good enough, so I requested that we do a live directing session. 2 weeks go by, and then she tells me that I need to wait another week to 2 weeks. At that point, I just said no and recasted her. Replacement voice actress for Bishop made me wait until Thursday that week. Fine. Thursday comes around. The voice actress had forgotten her script at home when she went to go at her recording studio, which she exclusively records at. She forgot the fucking script, so I needed to wait another 2 weeks. And at that point, what I should have done was just say, that's fine, to the previous voice actress, and just not recast her, and it just had to do a race to the finish. And whoever does the lines first is casted. You're casted. You did it. Mojo Jojo says, I agree the scenes in the hotel were great. Thank you, man. Thank you for the $2. So after the next gap, I went and had a call, I think 2 weeks after she missed that goal. Where the fuck was I in this list? So yeah, then there was a scheduling issue, and I had to wait till the weekend. And like before she went to do it that day, I stayed up really, really, really late, wanted to pass the fuck out, had a call with her, and we went through all the lines to make sure she didn't fuck them up. And then she finally sent them in. And that's not even the last hurdle with all the voice acting. And also, I'm not hollering at you, Steph. You did really good. You had the cleanest lines of literally all the voice actors. Good Boy Lancer gives €2, saying amazing video, realistic characters, amazing story. Thanks, man. Thanks for $2. I appreciate that. The lines were all in gas mask effects, which are not kind to consonants. So if you don't pronounce your T's very well, like the gas mask effect just annihilates them. And Fair, his lines got the worst of the bunch, which is why he has more subtitles than a lot of the other characters. And once again, I just didn't want to redo them, so I made the call to put in subtitles. So, yeah, it was just the fun wouldn't end. All right, enough of that shit. I'm gonna answer some fucking questions. Let me scroll up because I've got a lot of shit that just went by. Give me a second. I'm just gonna read through some of them. How are there some cameras on vehicles and perspectives that SCP has no access to? If you watch the bit with the helicopter, it says connecting before it goes to the helicopter. When they went and hacked into the computers and got into the cameras, it got them onto a larger network that the GOC was associated with. So they were able to tap into other cameras that they otherwise wouldn't have access to. That's why he says CCTV's ours, and I put the connecting thing before the helicopter cam. Carbon asks, what happened to the hostage? You'll never know. Chimera asks, what's your favorite scene during and after production? My favorite scene, the whole thing? Probably the Black Horizon stuff, just because I didn't think I would ever be able to do it. Did you use the HECU models for the MTF or just default? Yeah, it's just GTA models, the MP Mail free mode, and then I put a couple modded outfits on them. Like the helmets don't have nods on them, so because I got a mod that took them off. Is Kuhn's voice actor the same as Kruger's? No. Kruger's voice actor did not return for this one, which is not. I'm not talking shit. Kuhn's voice actor is the same guy who voiced the medic from the last video. Bunker is very similar to GT5. Yeah. I wonder why that would be. It says good quality with very few errors. How did you get into video production? Where did you start? Dude, I started when I was like 16. I just got Sony Vegas on my computer on an HP Pavilion that ran like absolute garbage, and just looked up YouTube tutorials and like, dude, I've been doing this forever. I used to make really, really terrible Halo machinima. That was my shit back in the day. The Milky Way reference was good. Yeah, the reference from the last video was so obvious. I wanted to make something that was at least a little more niche, that was a little more hard to get, but still like decent enough in terms of like, some people would get it. How do you come up? Yeah, the city was amazing. I'd love to see more of that creative stuff. How do you come up with all these interesting ideas? I just think about it all the time. I don't think I've got a secret sauce or anything. There isn't. I'm not a brilliant person at all. Not even fucking close. I'm kind of retarded, to be honest. So I just think about it all the time. And anytime there's anything that interests me, I think about how to turn it into a story. Is there, Chimera asks, is there a chronological order for these films? Like First Contact came before Ghost Town? Honestly, I don't know. Actually, no, I do. This definitely comes after First Contact, because they've got... Actually, shit, I don't even know. You could make arguments to go either way. But yeah, there's no chronology that I'm particularly interested in. Because, like, the characters and events are completely unrelated. Or are they? Good Boy Lancer says, so you're basically a retard who thinks a lot. Yeah, you just about nailed it. What happened to your Harvest video? I fucking deleted it because it's a bad video, dude. Do you think you'll ever have an MTF videos where the operators aren't wearing gas masks? Yeah, but do you want the videos to take longer? Like, that's the thing. Like, if I give them all masks, the video takes like less time to make because I don't have to do lip sync. What's your favorite task force? Omega Orange, because it's mine. So they let the GOC guy leave, or did he get killed? You'll never know. Will you save the stream recording? Yeah. I don't know anything. Yeah, Red Dragon. I don't know anything about UE4. You're asking the wrong guy. Gandoni asks, from start to finish, how much stress does it take? Way too much. Like I've just accepted that every project I'm going to undertake is going to be some kind of hell. Only Bagel says the other dimension gave me gas mask SCP vibes. Was that inspired? You mean the one where you put it on, takes you to an alternate reality? Yeah, kinda. I mean, like the SCP itself, like the draw for this wasn't going to be the SCP itself, because the SCP itself is not interesting. It's just an alternate reality where there's nothing. What I knew was, or at least what I wanted to make it interesting through, was how people were using it. That was what I wanted to sort of get across. And if you go look at the video, there's a lot of interesting details that sort of like deepen the, I guess, message of it. Because the whole thing is kind of about hypocrisy. And if you read into it, you can certainly see why. Do you use yeah, P-hole asks, do you use NPC or actual players? No, I use NPCs and I give them commands. I use the menu mod, MENYOO. Steven Pancake asks, what is your favorite task force except for Omega Orange? I don't know any others. Never heard of any others. Gandoni asks, do you have any idea? You have no idea how much I love SCPs. And oh my god, I just lost it. And how much I love your take on it. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Mr. Rainbow asks, hey, I got a question. How long have you been interested in SCPs, and why did my parents leave me when I was younger? It really messed me up. Oof, that is a difficult question. I've known about SCPs for a long fucking time now, but I never really got, I guess, into them in quotations until like last year was when I sort of did like a deep dive into them, because I sort of saw them for, I guess, the good fiction format that it is. As for your parents, I don't know. Can't tell you about that one, bud. That's all you. Kamal Kamen Astartes donated $5 saying, love the video, amazing action and effects, especially the city and its inhabitants. Great work. Yeah, thanks, man. I thought that was the part where I was just going to lose everybody. Because I legit couldn't find a spot to use for that whole thing forever, and I didn't want to just use the maze bank. Dandoni says, I feel special when he read my comments. I need more social interaction. Yeah, I guess you do. That's how Zoomers get off now. They just talk to streamers. Medsen says, I'm not going to lie, I'm getting a nerd fan boiner at the idea of a mashup of your skills with Volga and Eastside SCP Illustrated. Like, not joking, Slate Chubb, the talent critical master. Yeah, I wanted to contact Eastside for a voice role in this, but yeah, he never got back to me. He never got back to me. And I'm not completely familiar with what SCP Illustrated does, so I wouldn't know how to use them. But yeah, yeah, it was cool to work with Volgun, because I didn't go to him; he came to me, and I thought that was really cool that he did that. A real question is, why do all the emojis look like chubby boys? That's a fantastic question. They look like garbage. Who fucking changed them? Will there be Easter eggs in any of your other videos? Dude, expect Easter eggs in all of my videos. Easter eggs are fun to put in. I love doing that shit. What kind of SCP is the first scene in the other world? Nothing off the website, dude. All shit that I made up. Have you ever considered trying to do like a full film? I know how hard that would be just for one person, but I know I would pay for it. I mean, I want to be a filmmaker. That's the goal. And I wouldn't be doing it alone. I've got, like, my friend Steven's a filmmaker that I work with in the States, and we work together on stuff all the time. So if I ever do it, it's going to be with him. Not really a question, but a tip. Remember the field code for the MTF? Field code for the MTF SCP Illustrated. Maybe add one of those as an Easter egg for next wholeness. Yeah, I'm not familiar with that. How many Easter eggs are there in a typical video? Depends on the video, dude. That underwater scene freaked me bad. Yeah, underwater horror is one of my favorite things to do because dude, the ocean sucks. The ocean's awful. Fuck the ocean. Caligula had a point. Fuck the ocean. Ocean sucks. I will say it was really absurd seeing just how many people were watching it concurrently. Like I was not expecting more than maybe 100 people to watch it at once, but it got to up to 700. Dude, that's fucking insane. It's nuts. I've never seen so many autists in one spot. Yeah, the 666 autist army. Yeah, that shit was nuts. What's your favorite movie and who's your favorite director? I don't have a favorite director, but my favorite movie is Hot Fuzz. It's no contest. It's my favorite film. Also, how many of you guys caught the Amnestics Easter egg? Did you guys spot that one? Because I fucked it up in the last video. It's Amnestics, Lance. Fucking Amnestics. Yeah, a little too on the nose, but hey, it's my public apology for fucking it up the last time. Do you ever think you'll make the SCP featured in the video an actual SCP? Like, you mean like a entry on the website? I don't have the time. Yeah, I noticed some people were pointing out the LMG, and it's like, oh, he's standing and fucking Ramboing with the LMG, and it's like, dude, I would have done it mounted on a surface or prone if I could. Like, dude, a lot of these things are shit that I would have done if I could. If I could do it, I would do it. And I just asked a buddy of mine, like, hey, could you fire an LMG from a standing position? He was like, yeah, in like short bursts. And I was like, okay. And then I forgot to do short bursts. Do you play any video game? Yeah, play a couple. I do play a couple video game. Let me check my Steam, see what's installed. Insurgency Sandstorm. I intend to finish Stalker Shadow of Chernobyl. I play Total War. I play fucking been playing the Division 2. Astardi says you deserve all the viewers/viewers you get ministering just GTA SCP mission videos. I can't speak. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Do you have a favorite film genre? I know the obvious one is sci-fi, but probably beyond that. Like if I could only make one genre of filmmaking, it would be sci-fi or horror. Like if that was what I was restricted to, I would be fine with that. Sci-fi is just so broad, though. Like that encompasses so many genres. Science fiction, horror. Mojo Jojo donated another $10, saying, when he jumped into the pond, I was thinking, great, he's dead, and I was honestly thinking he wouldn't make it out of the dimension. Yeah, I'm surprised so many people didn't realize that if he was dead and he died in the dimension, you wouldn't be watching his camera. Unless they would like have a military retrieval op to go get his camera, but like there's no fucking way they would do that. Yeah, I know PC there's a crouch mod, but dude, I used it actually in the opening scene that I deleted, and it looks like shit because the LMG's like tilted at an angle, and it just doesn't look good. And he's not rotating the LMG on the axis of the bipod. He's rotating it just like you would be standing up, right? Like because you would be point of where it would turn, point of rotation, I guess. So it looked really bad. And I couldn't mount it to like a crate or anything. Just couldn't do it. And there was just so much shit going on. So I figured, fuck it. What happened to the old Omega Orange crew? I don't know. I might revisit them if like the next video I want to make calls for it. JD Carr says, we got to play Medieval 2 one of these days again. You are absolutely right. And you will probably use your fucking Christian guard to murder all my Crusader armies, and I will yell at you. Evan, if you ever make a P.O. box, it's going to be full of Milky Ways. Hey, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Have you ever thought about using another game for these SCP videos? Something that can fix the limitations of GTA and its mods. I would like that, but I don't know if it exists. I just don't. And every time I think that I've run out of ideas, I come up with another one. Will we ever do a film based on inside a site? Since all the films were mostly outside, I want to see MTF action during containment breaches. I was thinking about doing that for either the next one or the next one after the next one, something like that. But I've thought of that as like a format, but I haven't actually thought of like what would be interesting about it beyond it just being like, oh look, containment breach aesthetics. Will we see any of these characters or RCPs in future movies? Maybe, because I am sick of coming up with new soldier character archetypes. Godoni donates $5 saying, we'll pay for that music from the first SCP in the dimension. That is on Epidemic Sound, and if you search the comedy section, you can find a version of that. But I took that, I slowed it down, and I distorted it, and then I panned it so that it was localized to the speakerhead dude. Love Ghost Town. Will we get a full entry on the SCP Wiki anytime soon? Not for me. Dude, people have still not even done one for the last SCP video I did, so just don't get your hopes up. If you get a modder to make some SCP stuff for you, would you consider doing it in Insurgency Sandstorm? The game has great guns and stuff and is way better with less limitation. Kind of. I mean, like, I'd like to, but and I was actually thinking, like, I'd love to make a machinima using Sandstorm, but the replay function sucks right now. It's broken. I can't change the FOV or the focal length. I can't lock depth of field. I can't do anything like that. And it's got a lot of desync. And I don't know like exactly what I would do with it. I would have to like get a bunch of people together to body act on it too. And in the end, it's not that much a step above GTA 5. Are you familiar with Arma, that engine that maybe will stand up to time? Yeah, I've seen it, but I don't know, man. It seems like so much trouble. Because you can't record the actual gunshots if you're like using unit capture. You have to do it in post. I'm also trying. Avery Williams says I'm also trying to get a career in filmmaking. I'm sorry to hear that. What inspires you to make these videos? What inspires me is the alternative that if I don't make videos, I'm going to go back to working retail. Evan, make the next film in Roblox, Lamau. I remember I had like an idea for a Minecraft machinima, where it would start out like any generic Minecraft machinima and then turn into a horror movie. But I would need, in order like to make that, I would need to be able to get animators and shit, and it would just be, I don't know. I thought it would be funny, but what was the process for creating the anomalies? I think you really nailed the feel of them. The ones that said Black Horizon, I just literally just thought of what I had access to and thought, how can I make this scary? Because my tool set's so limited. So I don't know. I don't really know how ideas show up. They just do. What kind of bothers me is that like I don't really use the website at all for coming up with this stuff, and I think eventually I'm just going to run into something that like I'm going to come up with something that somebody's already come up with, and they're going to think that I stole it from them, and then that's going to be a fucking hurdle because they'll Like I would have no way to like disprove that. I guess Sultan Saleh asks, you skipped my question, but what did you use to make your films? It's GTA, bro. But just keep in mind, guys, this ain't gonna be the norm the whole time. Eventually, I'm gonna go on to do animation stuff. It's just taking a while because building assets takes forever. Have you considered making a movie about containing an anomaly where we can see a squad actually trying to have some other objective rather than just surviving? Yeah, if I ever do like a containment breach type story, that would be what it would be about. But dude, I'd have to get real fucking creative. How long does writing scripts take? Depends on the script. Medken, or however the hell you say your name, asks, since you do your own thing in terms of SCP, why not approach the UN side of it? Uh, I mean, like, I've thought about doing it from other factions' perspectives, but like, I don't know for sure. Laboon Chick donated $20. Thank you very much. Saying, how did you survive the fall if you didn't have a parachute? I mean, it's going to be hard to survive that momentum when you suddenly stop. What was the function of the realm? Well, the thing stopping was just my idea of like, okay, well, something wanted to stop the fall, and it created like something out of like Stalker. Remember the anomalies from Stalker? Something created that, and because this entire realm was just free writing, so I could get away with it. Are you still doing separate viewing for the preachers? Yeah, but I need to figure out a way that you guys can view it, and like if this shit ever really blows up, like I need to make sure that like when I have pre-release videos, somebody can't just download it and re-upload it somewhere. So I need to get something. I need to get another process for that, and I think you can do it through Vimeo, but I don't know because I was really worried about that when I put it up. Would you be interested in doing a collaborative project? Oh no, a complete stranger, but if you're open to your pitch later, I'll be glad to. Dude, I can't take pitches because I'm like, dude, I've planned years ahead, like in terms of like what I want to do. I've got just an endless amount of ideas for things to do. So it's all like I usually go to other people to collab. Shout out to Nylog, who also did some effects for this. The lights in the pond, that's him. How long did Ghost Town take you to make? Well, I started it immediately after First Contact, so you do the math. I'm going to fall asleep listening to this because I'm gay for his voice. Thank you, baby snake. I'm glad to hear you say that. Yeah, there's rab.it where you can just stream it. That's true. But then I'd have to like coordinate with everyone, and if someone wasn't up at that time, then yeah. Can you make a Chaos Insurgency plot? That'd be super cool. If I can come up with a good story for Chaos Insurgency, yeah, I'll do it. Do you have a Twitter? Yeah, I just don't use it. Don't follow it. There's nothing there. Without a ton of, I'm guessing you're saying this within the context of First Contact. That's quite a long time without a ton of resources. That must have been hard. I mean, it's just tedious. It takes forever. You have to do so much shit. And we got a rolling on a Hassel East Side SCP Illustrated. You Volgun and them got to have an SCP mutant love child for our viewing pleasure and mutual enrichment, I think is what you're trying to say. We'll see. I mean, dude, we'll see. Gandoni donated again, saying, I'd love to see a bit of your creation of these. What specifically, Gandoni? Medsen says, great job on Ghost Town. Thanks, man. Chaos Insurgency versus Carmageddon mod SCP. That would be the loudest video I'd ever make. What series or stuff do you have in mind besides SCP? Well, I'm making a Division video after this, which you guys are going to fuck with. I really, really am happy with how that's turning out. Like, it looks really nice. And we're also going to be making, like, live-action horror films and stuff. How do you feel about the fact that your channel is criminally underrated? Closest thing we're ever going to get to an actual Netflix SCP series. Dude, I think I get what I deserve in terms of like what I do here on YouTube. I think I'm doing a lot better than a lot of other YouTubers are doing. And like, dude, I'm in. It could be a lot worse. Dude, 2018 was a big transition for that. Like, I was at the bottom of the barrel before this shit popped off. Is it just me, or was Volgan's voice perfect for his role? Almost. I had to speed his voice up in post because he was doing his lines very slowly. Sorry, Volgan. I had to tell him. Evan is already breaking away from the canon of the SCP universe. The Foundation works with the nations of the world. It's not some renegade faction. That's good. It shows some creativity. I don't think there's an official version of that, because there's some people who say that they work with governments, there's some people who they work against governments, and I think it's a bit of both. I think realistically it would be a bit of both. There's some governments who would fuck with you, and then there's some governments who just would not want to work with you at all, naturally. In this case, I showed an example of them having to deal with a government that did not want to work with them. Do you think you might have an MTF team go up against something so tough that the only way to stop it would be a nuke? Well, they wouldn't be there to kill it, but if a nuke was a way to subdue it, dude, I don't know. Phaseman 2 shouting out Jacob88. Hell yeah, bro. If you haven't subbed to Jacob, fucking do it. There's a link to his channel on my channel. Go sub to that guy. His videos are fucking insane. Have you ever thought about revisiting Rainbow Six Siege? The game has changed quite a bit since you last made the mini movie. If they had a theater mode, sure, I would love to. But dude, I do not want to go through what I went through to make that short for the results that it got, because nobody watched it, and I busted my ass on that for a while. Any social media where you post like trailers and reminders and stuff because YouTube refuses to work with me? I mean, sometimes I post to my Facebook page, and sometimes, like, dude, everything that like I'm dropping, I notify people on my Discord. So if you'd want to get notified, I'll hit up everyone on the Discord. I actually think I forgot to add everyone on the Discord when I dropped the recent video. Stupid me. I'll do that right now. I haven't even read the comments on the video, by the way, because I legit just got in here after this. Probably going to do this for like maybe in 45 minutes, an hour, I don't know. Good boy Lancer says, I hope that you will get the right tools and more freedom for these movies. I would love to see what you can do in the future. Yeah, Volgun has a slow way of reading. I watch his videos. And well, I'm sure it was a transition for him, and it was difficult because he went from having to just read to like actually having to do a performance, which I think he did quite well, especially in the last part. Maybe you should do a D-class exploration plot, but it might be dull. Not sure. Well, not if I prevent that from being the case. I don't know if this was asked, but are you accepting new voice actors? I mean, like, sometimes I'll publicly notify people that I'm casting, and sometimes I just won't, because most of the people that I get to voice act are people that I've got through my own connections. So also, guys, if you're telling me about like SCPs by number, I'm not very good. So just give me like what the nickname to the SCP is, and so that I don't have to Google it. Like, I don't know what 175 is. Seriously, can you stop skipping my questions? Who helps? Dude, you have any fucking idea how many questions there are, Saleh? Sala, whatever your name is? Answering one question means that I skip over a bunch. But yeah, here's your fucking question. Who helps with your content? Voice actors and shit? There you go. That's your answer. I get help from voice actors, and occasionally I'll get like someone to do like a couple composite effects. Like, it really depends on the fucking project, man. Chaos Insurgency versus 999. Uh, yeah, that's a negative Ghost Rider. What do you think of the Shy Guy? Are you asking me because they're making like a short film based on him? I mean, I don't know. It's all right. I think that there's parts of it that don't make any sense. Like, if why does he get pissed if I see a picture of him? If I create like a really high fidelity painting, would he also get pissed? Like, how does it work? Gandoni donated again. Jesus, dude, just keep your money, okay? I appreciate it, but man, you're going nuts right now. Can you do the Shy Guy scream? That's all I want and I'll ever want. I don't even remember what it sounds like. I'm sorry, dude. Ah! There you go. It's my best impression. Um, what is going on? Just got here. Go to my previous video, dude. Shout out, by the way, to all the people who sat in the chat like 2 hours before this shit dropped. I'm sorry. I should have fucking done this way earlier, and I should have not allowed the premiere to be there until like maybe 30 minutes before the shit dropped. But shout out to all the people who hung out and just shot the shit with me. Will this Q&A be streamed post afterwards? Yeah, I'm going to be keeping up the VOD. What gave you the inspiration for the SCPs inside the ghost town? The assets that I had to work with. Favorite drink? Coffee, obviously. What's your favorite SCP? I don't remember the name of it, but it's the one of the forest with the fairies in it. That one's really good. I like that one. What do you think of a crossover between Wildlands and SCP Containment Breach? I don't know. Like, I'd have to figure out a way to use like Wildlands to make videos, which I was thinking about for something different, but like not for SCP. Do you read a lot? Yes, I read a lot. And I put read in quotations because I listen to audiobooks, which allows me to do two things at once. So I can like dick around in a game while I'm listening to like some great courses, lectures, or something, or some shit like that. Or right now I'm reading. Let me go to my Audible. I want to finish Rainbow Six by Tom Clancy, and I want to finish Starship Troopers by Robert Heinlein. Loopy, I'll just say that first part of your name because I don't know how to say the last part. So it said, I don't know if it's been asked before, but were you inspired by other games / movies, etc. in particular? Yes. I was watching some Metal Gear Solid playthroughs while I was making this, so there was a lot of shit from like Metal Gear Solid that I wanted to sort of like bring in. I mean, it's technically a sneaking mission, and the sort of like unraveling of conspiracy shit, but not nearly to the same extent as a fucking MGS game. And like initially when it was going to be set in South America, I was taking some shit from Sicario at the time. And Fear was a fucking big inspiration for this. Laboon Check donated $50 man. You guys are crazy right now. I'm gonna read the first donation. Gandoni donated again, saying Starship Troopers is great. Read A Prince of Fools. I'll get around to it, but I have to unpack a lot of fucking material. There's always something new I'm trying to read. Because it's always research for another project. Is the UN guy going to join the Serpent's Hand? Who knows? So yeah, Laboonchik asks, hey man, I know this may be asking a lot, but could you give a random character the code name Laboon? It would mean a lot, but also I would understand as you would not to keep the influence of others. Either way, keep up the good work, my dude. I mean, like if there's a character that like sort of like Hancock or Laughlin, because those guys, by the way, are named after my friends. Then yeah, sure, fuck it. I mean, you donated like $100 fucking, so yeah, fuck it, I'll do it, dude. Halo Infinite Machinima in the future. Fuck yeah, dude. If the game's good and good for Machinima, yeah, I'll absolutely do it. I'm gonna be doing shit with the MCC. You guys wait, it's gonna be lit. What would you call the weirdest effect glitch when you render everything that showed up out of nowhere? Dude, the render for this was awful. Doesn't seem to like. I pushed Adobe Premiere to its fucking limit. Like it just would not. it was like a blacked tape. It was just not liking what I was putting in it at all. It was too much, and it was like several layers of effects. I had a overlay. I had a fucking I had the video effects. I had the VHS, the RGVHS effect that I toned down specifically because I wanted the luminance blur and I wanted the RGB split. And then I had over top of that a also yeah the punch effects, and then I had to render that as it was, and then on top of that I had to render it with the fucking the LCD effect, which also had RGB split in it and glitch effects and noise, which meant that it had to be rendered separately. Otherwise, my Premiere would just straight up crash or take 10 years to render it. And when I did that, I had to render it in parts because if I rendered it over like an hour, it just didn't take. Gandoni donated to get, dude, just keep your fucking money, bro. Or Godoni. Yeah, I'm retarded. Not a single person I've met pronounced my name right. Yeah, sorry, dude. It's hard to read all these names. Yeah, Godoni. I'm sorry, man. And also thanks for $10. Dude, calm down, all right? Thoughts on getting more money in a single hour while live streaming than you would get in a day of working at an actual job? Uh, we'll see. Depends on the job. Evan, can you make an ask? Okay. Someone asked, can you make an SCP task force uniform in Wildlands? Just straight up, they don't have uniforms. Like they're just meant to be operators. Like they're just meant to be like fucking. They look like civilians with tack gear on. That's what they're meant to look like most of the time. So like, if you've ever seen like what a like private military contractors look like, that's I'm trying to make them look like them so that you just can't identify them unless they're working exclusively within the Foundation's walls. So like say Nine-Tailed Fox would be one that I would have a strict uniform for because they exclusively work within Foundation walls and you would want to identify someone like that. How long did it take you to create Ghost Town? Immediately after, we'll check the date for first contact, man. Any thought of using Arma 3 in the future? Maybe. I don't know. Review videos asks, was Ghost Town made in GTA 5 because it looks like the map and environment. This is just round 2, boys. Just people are never going to stop asking. It's just, I'll never see the end of it. This GTA 5, I can't tell. SCP-354, also known as the Blood Pool, which would be interested in an exploration log. If I can add on to it, like that's the thing, dude. If I can take an SCP that exists and expand on it in a way that is like fundamentally different and adds like a completely different context to the original SCP, then I'll do it. But I need to come up with one first. And I've already come up with a ton of ideas. Are you a Marvel or DC fan? And what? Neither, dude. I don't really care. So the dudes from 13 Hours could have been an MTF. Yeah, absolutely, dude. Basically, like all the MTF guys that I ever make are probably gonna look like that. Someone says I want to be voice. Well, dude, if I ever have an open casting call again, you could submit a demo or something. So, Evan, how do you feel about being approached with scripts and stories? Keep it. I've got too many to do now, and I also just don't like reading production documents. I find it boring, and it's just I'm sorry that that's the case, but it's I just don't like reading scripts, man. I'm sorry, and I've already got too many ideas to do in a lifetime. The Global Occult Coalition asks, will you ever include the Global Occult Coalition in your works? Did you watch the last video? Nylog, what's going on, man? How you doing? How are you doing today? Yeah, Laboon's the fucking homie right now. If you ever need a teenager's voice, hit me up. I'll let you know. Yeah, Global Occult Coalition. You might want to watch the last video there, buddy. You got featured. Yeah, Nylog's the fucking homie, by the way. Uh, the characters in like the all white that with the shaking heads, they're originally not. They didn't have any motion at all. Asked my boy Nylog, and he did that sort of like Jacob's Ladder type of head effect on them. He also did the light effects when Kuhn goes into the pool, and he did what the fuck was yeah, he did the wave display, or no, frequency display effects that were there for all the audio bits that were just strictly audio. He did those. So shout out to Nylog. Sub to him if you haven't. Do you plan to make more of these SCP videos? Yeah, dude. This is literally the best that I've been doing on YouTube. So yeah, of course I'm gonna make more. Can you do Minecraft SCP as a meme? That's a negative, Ghost Rider. Not doing that one. How long have I been streaming for? Because I can't actually display how long I've been streaming for. Oh yeah, 56 minutes. Okay, I'll go for a bit longer. If you're being honest with yourself, who's the weak link of the production team for this video? Fuck, man. I mean, it would be very easy to just say the voice actors, but if there was a weak link, it would imply that the whole thing was broken. I mean, yeah, I had the most challenges with the voice actors, but like, that's just how it goes, man. Sometimes shit happens. As a filmmaker, I have nothing but respect for you, and I love the found footage still. Thank you. God, I can't fucking read all of these. What about SCP intrigues and inspires you? I like that it just combines a bunch of interests that I have. I like military stuff. I like horror stuff. I like how it's formatted in such a way that allows. It's pretty much just like here's like an example would be the MTFs. Like, what is the organizational structure of the MTFs? And like, if you go there and you look it up, it's just whatever the fuck it needs to be. So that's sort of the general philosophy of it that I like, which just allows me to do whatever I need to do in order to make the best story possible. What do you think of the Resurrection canon as one where they bring? Dude, I don't know anything about that. Is video based on a real SCP? Nope. What's your favorite horror movie by far? Probably fucking Hereditary, just from recent memory. I don't know. I don't really have a favorite horror film. Someone's adding me on Discord. I'm getting a fucking ton of messages. I also need to share the video to a bunch of people. How do you get ideas for the location scenes such as the quarry? The quarry was kind of based on an old Halo live action film called Landfall. I wanted an environment that was kind of like that. And I also liked the idea of taking a location that anybody would recognize if you didn't change anything, and then changing it fundamentally so nobody would ever recognize it. Also, on the horror movie question from earlier, I really liked It Follows. That's one that I just recommend to everybody. Consistently enjoyed. Could you try doing the SCP? I don't know, dude. Like if I SCP-2845 God Deer thing. I don't know. I don't know. If I come up with a brilliant way to recontextualize it, sure. Global Cult Coalition asks, will you ever create a film based off something like the Security Department or perhaps the Intelligence Agency? If I come up with a good idea, because like there's tons of like kind of like CIA type shit in this. Fucking Laboon at it again. Jesus Christ, dude. Ever thought of creating a Discord? I have a Discord. And instead of donating me these crazy amounts of money, just maybe go on Patreon. You can get a role in the Discord so you can get the shit early. Just do that. For sharing ideas or have fun with your audience, I will also be leaving work. Well, thanks for joining, man. That's crazy. That's fucking $135, man. That's nuts. Wish I could watch the whole stream. Yeah, you can watch it. The VOD will be up after this. Are you into historical warfare or modern warfare? Books, video games, movies? Dude, I love all of it. I love learning about like I guess the soft like the kind of bit that I'm iffy on is like World War II and shit and like Victorian. That's kind of stuff that I don't know a lot about. Same with World War One. I know a little bit of World War One, but everything before that I don't know that much about. But like ancient warfare, medieval warfare, like Bronze Age warfare is shit that I love looking up. I love the Napoleonic era in particular. D. Diagnan, or how you say your name. Great job on the new vid. I really loved it. And was wondering if there was any meaning behind your production name. No, zero, none, no meaning, none. It's a stupid fucking name that I came up with when I was like really young and didn't mean anything. I don't know what the value of a PHP is, but I imagine it's less than $5. What Yasu Fumi donated says, what mod menu do you use? Menu, and I use Simple Trainer. It's really good. But yeah, I also on the question for warfare and stuff. Yeah, I love looking up ancient and warfare and stuff like that. And only recently, like last year, got into like modern warfare and learning about that. And now I'm like all about it. Gadoni donates again, saying, "Make more gameplay vids. Your voice in the Oxenfree video helps me either sleep or pull an all-nighter." Dude, that's fucking ancient, man. That's one of the few like really old ass videos I kept up, like because I deleted other Let's Plays that were just terrible because my mic quality sucked. I don't know, man. If I get a really nice CPU, fucking maybe, but like, it's tough, man, because it's another thing to do. Like I need to divide more work in order to get that kind of position where I can just do it like a stream or a full LP. Will there be videos about a team handling a memetic SCP? If I can come up with an interesting memetic SCP, I will certainly allow that to be the case. Will we ever see the return from the cast for First Contact? If I come up with a story where the Omega Orange group is like would fit in, then yeah, hell yeah, I'll bring them back because it prevents me from having to make a whole new cast of characters. Wait, the Oxenfree videos were 3 years ago. I've been subscribed longer than I thought. Time to play. Yep, it's old ass videos. Oxenfree was free for a bit, by the way, like a couple days ago. You should play it if you haven't. It's a fantastic game. Solves a lot of the problems that I have with narrative games. Which, by the way, if I ever did something outside of like straight up like movies and shit, I would love to make a narrative game. Someone says, "You like medieval warfare? Fuck, I wish we could work together." Not trying to be weird. I just don't think. Yeah, dude. Like, there's so many historical films that I would love to make. Like, there's so many stories that are like fascinating that just aren't covered. The shitload. Even in like World War II, there's so many stories that just people refuse to fucking do. Like Mad Jack Churchill. That man needs a movie right now. Or all the shit that went down in Africa. Like there's so many cool stories that like aren't being covered. And even in like the Roman Empire, it's always like, oh, what's Gaius Gubius Caesar doing? You should do something that requires character development. Yeah, you're right. I should, shouldn't I? With a group of SCP Foundation members have to work together, and it's hard, dude. Because it's like with a story like this, it's when you're doing short filmmaking, character development isn't usually like you generally have to have one important decision, or you don't make that the point. Which is in another dimension for 30. Yeah, you're just adding on to it. How difficult would it be to make an 096 movie? I don't know. Make an SCP movie about SCP-008 similar to the zombie virus being breached and stuff. I think that'd be good content. I mean, it'd just be a zombie movie, but if I can find an interesting twist on it, yeah, fuck it. Yeah, that one guy, when I said all that shit that went down in Africa, I was specifically narrowing it to World War II, you fucking smartass. North Africa. Like the British offensives against the Italians. That shit was nuts. P says, I'd love to work with you or be a part of the production team, but there ain't a whole lot that I can offer you. I already have someone else to do. Yeah, I don't know. It's tough, man. Like, I'd love to work with lots of people. Like, there's lots of voice actors that I will just end up not working with on another project that, like, I'd like to work with, but just, you know. Agent Uriel asks, honestly, how was your day? Well, I'm just tired, man. I just want to get some sleep. But yeah, my day's been pretty good. My day's been quite good. I finally got this off my back. It's good for it to finally be over, but it's also bittersweet because, like, you know, on to the next project, right? It's on to the next one. And it's like the work never ends. Someone says you are the best, the best, the best, the best, the best. Yes, I remember that meme. What's the first few things you decide when you make your characters? Watch the live stream I did. My previous live stream. I go over literally my entire fucking process. Because like before I come up with characters, I have to come up with the actual message of the stories. But for something like this, the characters aren't really that important. So I usually just come up with who can make interesting dialogue, and I have to come up with interesting personality types to just kind of bounce off of each other because the characters really aren't the focus. It's more like the overall concepts and larger interactions between the different factions. What's your dream vacation spot? It's a wonderful question. I'd love to go to the Mediterranean. I'd love to go to Italy, Greece, but that's just because I'm a nerd. But that's just because I'd like to go look at all the historical shit. If I went somewhere just exclusively to have a vacation, I'd love to go to Japan. I'd love to go live out my weeaboo fantasies and go not understand what anybody's saying because I don't speak Japanese. Someone asks, Evan, do you think you can make a video possibly a combination of SCP and Star Wars? I don't think so, bro. That's a negative. Don't think I can do it. How would you feel about pre-Renaissance era sci-fi, low fantasy, mostly sci-fi? I've seen combinations of fantasy and Renaissance era stuff like proposed to me before, where it's like, if you want an example of like a fantasy version of that, Warhammer Fantasy Empire Faction is an example of that, but combining it with sci-fi, I've had ideas like that before, but it's a little bit different. Do you look like a nerd? Absolutely. Absolutely look like a nerd. If you saw me, you go, that guy's a fucking nerd. If anybody saw my old profile picture, that's what I look like IRL. Gadoni donates again saying, give all of your political opinions for the world to see. How about no? I won't do that, you fucking psycho. Have you ever interacted with Mr. Clay, aka Short Film Site 22? I know who he is, but I've not interacted with him. No. I think I'm going to take any last questions, so, and then I'm going to hop off because I've got shit to do, and then I need to fucking sleep. Someone's saying Suspiria 1977 sucks. I haven't seen it. I've only seen the 2018 version, which is pretty good, but most people, if you watch it, probably won't like it. Kadoni, I'm not going to give you fucking political opinions. Just fuck off. Go away. What I want to do here is just make videos that are entertaining. I'm not here to like insert my politics into my content. I think that's just not helpful. No, I want to make a point of that. It's too many times where I see people that just like try to insert their ideologies into shit. It's just no fun. Ruins the fun. Most people watch this stuff to forget about that kind of stuff. That's my 2 cents on it. Thank you for the $5, Gadoni. I'll see if I can find one more question. Nana Moose asks, "Can I have a hug?" I would, but you're not within hugging distance at the moment. So Lemon Gaming asks, "I've been watching your vids for a while, and I recently just came across your channel. How often do you upload?" Just go look at my schedule, man. It's once every blue moon. Like once a month, usually I try to get a video out. Like all Euros do. Yeah, I'm from Canada, which is, I guess, basically the North American Europe. I guess I'll just wrap it up there. If you guys want to get updates for what I'm doing next, I pretty much do. I'm not doing an update video this month for my Patreon, but in my Patreon, I do update videos, or at least I try to update every month. Sometimes it doesn't fucking happen because I either don't have enough to update on. But if shit does happen, you can follow basically the entire production cycle there. What I'm doing, when things are getting done, what I still have to do is pretty much all on there. So if you don't want to be on the dark, Patreon's a good place to go. It's $1 entry. And that's it. I think I'm gonna fuck off and see how the video does. Thank you guys for joining me, and including anybody here from the initial 700 autists. You guys are absolute mad lads. You take care. And remember, folks, stay hydrated. You'll literally die if you don't do that. So stay hydrated.